For one reason or another, every single character in this video has either been forgotten by the MultiVersus dev team or have zero high-level representation at the highest levels of competitive play. But before we start, what does it mean to be forgotten? What does it mean to be a forgotten character in this game? My loose definition of it is any character that either had very little buffs or changes between patches of the released game, or characters you just don't see online much. Prime example of that being Velma. Genuinely, let me know in the comments if you've ever seen Velma in ranked, because I only fought her twice in the 2 months that this game has been out. Like, I'm not dragging it. I'm actually not dragging it. Looking at the patch notes for the released version of MultiVersus, Velma didn't really get a whole lot of attention in the beginning patches. And I don't even mean exclusively buffs. They could be nerfs, but it just needs to show that MultiVersus acknowledges this character by giving them something, or at least saying their name in the patch notes. Velma was like a taboo. It's like saying her name in the patch notes at all would just get her to summon right in front of you, like saying Beetlejuice. Looking at her moveset now and how it feels is a joke, from where she once was in beta, being one of the best characters, going all the way down to one of the worst. It's like, imagine you having a ketchup bottle and you using it on your fries, but because you have so little, you have to mix it in with water. That's exactly what playing Velma feels like. It's like playing a watery version of ketchup. No one likes that. It tastes horrible. When looking at her base moveset, a lot of it is the same from when she once had in beta, at least from my observation, but the execution of it, playing as her, she just feels so weak compared to the rest of the cast when you're looking at Superman, who can kill you off a 35 off of an up tilt. Fun, I know, engaging gameplay. Or Shaggy, who just has to sit there and wait until you approach him so he can jab, reverse up tilt, uppercut, and you just blow up at 40%. Velma has none of that. She used to have really superb zoning and range tools so that she could keep you away and rack up a lot of consistent damage, but now with her megaphone being so short ranged and you have to charge it so you can get that longer distance, which it doesn't even go nearly as far as it used to once go in beta, she just feels like a shell of her former self. She can't really do as much as she would like to do because all of her options that she has, it's kind of like MultiVersus is scared to bring back pre-nerfed Velma in the beta. And I'm not saying that they need to go back to that, but they just need to give her a little bit more kill power and more consistency in landing her damaging combos. When I was playing as her, I literally only think jab up tilt is one of her only true combos. Could be wildly wrong. The 6 Velma mains in Discord, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but she doesn't really feel that good to play. And I don't know if you guys remember this character at all, but Banana Guard fits the bill when it comes to forgotten characters. He started off, when he dropped, I remember everyone was clamoring, oh, nerf, please nerf Banana Guard, he's so broken, oh my gosh. He got nerfed once, and then everyone immediately dropped the character. Bro actually just dropped off of the face of the earth. I don't think I've seen a single Banana Guard ever since that dreaded patch. He's a contemporary Velma case. People used him a lot, he got nerfed, and then no one cared about him anymore. And it's not even like his kit sucks. He is still very strong. I played him for this video for like an hour, accidentally got to top 700. Don't know how that happened, but Banana Guard is a very strong character. I can see why people like to use him. His side air, still a very good tool that kills very early, a watered down Shaggy, and that's another thing too. I've seen a lot of people compare it to, wow, damn, that was going good. I've seen a lot of people compare him to Shaggy in that he kills very early, simple to pick up, has very easy combos that you can master pretty quickly, and overall is a very good starting point if you're just picking up the game. Problem is, why not play Shaggy if you want a character like that? Banana Guard doesn't really feel too different from Shaggy, and that's coming from a person who played Shaggy a bit too much. Because when Shaggy has things like a rage modifier, and yes, Banana Guard also has that, but Shaggy's applies weakness stacks, which makes him kill even earlier than he already does, then the argument for Banana Guard becomes less and less. And it seems like MultiVersus agrees with the sentiment, because ever since he got nerfed, I don't think I've seen his name mentioned once in the patch notes. I don't really see any top representation for him in the higher levels of competitive play. And I could be wrong, but it might be because of the fact that he doesn't really have too much technical skill expression. A lot of his combos are simple 1-2 or 1-2-3 hits, and they do a lot of damage. Some people may look for more technical characters, and that could be a reason as to why he's not played that much. He also just looks stupid. I personally would not main a joke character. I would hate to tell a baddie that, oh, I play Banana Guard. Immediately you are a red flag and no one wants to mess with you. Which low-key is kind of like Stripe. And I say that because Stripe, I feel like, is one of the most sleeper picks in this game. He looks very stupid in my opinion, but he is actually a very good character and one of the most slept on, one of the most underrated, and one of the most downplayed characters in this game. When I hear discussions about Stripe, it's like talking about a really good food spot that everyone wants to gatekeep because they don't want to put anyone on to how good it actually is. That's what Stripe feels like. He's a very good character and I feel like a lot of people just haven't tried him out, which is weird because I still don't see a whole lot of him online, but I have been seeing a resurgence of strikes. The 7 Stripe mains have turned to 8. And what I mean by that is more people are picking him up, and with more people picking him up, I'm seeing more tech, I'm seeing more combos with him, I'm having a harder time fighting him, probably because people are advancing his metagame more, and it's a little bit exciting, I will say, because on my previous video where I ranked every assassin in the game, you should watch that by the way, it was a really good video, I thought this character sucked, but my opinion of that has changed drastically. Stripe has a lot of tools to help him combo you very quickly. Things like his jab into his IAD dare, into dynamite, and then just do a bunch of damage like that. He has a lot of tools, but he hasn't really gotten too many patches. He's gotten buffs here and there, a little bit of touching up, but nothing too crazy to be like, oh wow, he got significantly buffed. I feel like his player base is still rising pretty steadily, so you should expect to see a lot of Stripe, especially after this video, because I know I'm about to put a lot of people onto him. Unlike the number 2 spot, which is Jake the dog. I don't know if I could put anyone onto him because he just kind of sucks. I could count on my hands how many times I've seen a Jake, and I could count on even less the times I've seen Velma. Jake and Velma gotta be dating, because there's no way that both characters could have so little attention from MultiVersus and people playing them in the game. It feels like MultiVersus actually doesn't know what they want to do with Jake, because every time they try to buff and address him, they themselves openly admit, I don't know what I'm doing with this character. I made him. Why'd I make him? No idea. And unfortunately for Jake, he is kind of a cool playstyle. Now that I tried him out for the video, he was kind of cool to play. I could see the idea that they were trying to go for being a ranged melee fighter, kind of like a hybrid between a mage and a bruiser, but he just kind of falls flat when you look at other people who have either more range than him or have more damaging combos. Then Jake just kind of falls into this weird middle tier of not really doing any particular thing too well. And it's reflected by how many people play him, or how little people actually play him. His problem is like the inverse of Banana Guard. Whereas Banana Guard doesn't really get too much attention in the patch notes, Jake gets a pretty good amount of attention. MultiVersus is aware the character's mid, but they just don't want to fix bro. It's like watching a slow car crash. It's happening, and they don't know what to do about it. Jake has some pretty cool options, like he can eat you if you're into Vor, I guess, and it applies weakness stack so he can kill you a lot earlier. His fair is probably the most unfair part of his moveset. It has a sweet spot at the tip of his fist hitbox, so it's really good for if you angle it downward to spike someone, or if you use it to zone people out, which I guess was his original concept and original intention for how he was supposed to play. But a lot of people get in your face really quickly in this game, and it's kind of difficult to really fight against that when they really want to pressure you. People like Joker, I'm looking at you, Joker, you make me crash out every day. And unfortunately, the sad reality is, unless he gets reworked, I genuinely don't think people will try out this character. He's pretty cool in my opinion, but people love to be tier bums, right? They like to hog high spots on the tier list, play Wonder Woman, play Joker, play Shaggy exclusively, and they don't want to try the lower tier characters that are actually pretty cool and have some sauce to them. So unless he gets a fat rework and it's like, oh, this character's a lot different, let me try him, I think he's going to be in this perpetual state of, I don't want to play with you. But until we get to the number 1 spot, some honorable mentions are LeBron. I don't know how LeBron got to this spot. He was laughed up. He was hyped up to be, oh, LeBron's in the game. He's going to dunk on you. And then just no one played him. I have more fun checking the ball to people forcefully checking it to them and asking them to pass it back to me than I actually do trying to do well with this character, because he feels like he's lacking a lot of his combos. And I did see he got nerfed repeatedly in the patch notes, so MultiVersus was aware of Chris Xtafers. They were like, he's cooking a little too much, let me nerf this character. I've seen little to no LeBron mains in the game after his multiple nerfs. However, I do see a lot of people hoping he's going to return to his former glory in Season 3, so I am expectant of that. Unlike Marvin the Martian, another honorable mention. People who watch me, you guys know how I feel about Marvin. I shouldn't have to say much, but for newcomers who are watching me, I think this character is bottom 3. He is my main. Am I downplaying him? I might be, but I genuinely think that this character has nothing to use in relation to the rest of the cast. When you see people like Shaggy killing you with side air off of 35, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe because he's a bruiser, he's supposed to do that. Well, when you look at mages like Bugs Bunny doing recovery into up air and it's a true combo and kills you at 20%, then it's kind of hard to argue, oh, well, maybe Marvin actually just sucks, which is a true statement. I think he's actually going to get nerfed in the next season because they just don't want Marvin to thrive. I've accepted this fact, you know, like, he's a melanated man, I'm a melanated man. Maybe they just want us to suffer, and maybe this is a form of bigotry. I don't know, but what I do know is that this character is not that good. Unlike the #1 spot, Jason Voorhees. He was touted to be the big thing that was added to MultiVersus release version. He was the big guy. He finally got in. It was like a Ridley moment for Smash Bros. Is how it felt when Jason got in. It was so cool of, oh wow, they actually got this character in. Come to find out when you play him, he's not even like Ganondorf. Bro is worse. He's somehow worse than Ganondorf. If you've ever seen Jason in ranked, let me know, because past Platinum, I've never seen Jason. And as I've gotten into Master Tier, the probability of that just goes down more and more and more of seeing a Jason main, let alone a good one. His kit isn't even that bad, he's just slow, so automatically it kind of sucks for him. Because when you look at other tanks like Wonder Woman, she's not slow, so why'd they make Bro that slow? And then you might want to compare, say, the best tank to the worst tank. Okay, well, both of them are tanks, yet one of them is significantly faster. The other one can get armor for free, and she can spawn it at will, whereas Jason has to do a long charge animation, and he can only be on the ground when he does it. Wonder Woman somehow has bigger attack hitboxes compared to Jason, so they can cover more like her Nair, and it has armor breaking properties. She has an easier time despite being a tank killing compared to Jason, which is supposed to be the heavy hitter. Wonder Woman has an easier time killing off of one read. She can just blow you up. And if you think I'm lying, you go fight Shirogane and you come back to me and tell me how you fared against him. He's crazy. So you'll slowly begin to see just how little Jason has as a tank compared to other tanks. He's a big hitbox, he's a damage sponge. Even Iron Giant, a person who's bigger than him, kills quicker and earlier than Jason. That makes no sense. That actually makes no sense. Like, I'm now saying that actually makes no sense. I haven't seen much patches for Jason either that would provide meaningful buffs to him to make him a solid choice in the tier list. It's like MultiVersus thinks he's in a good state because, oh, funny person kills early, and that's not how it works in the competitive landscape at all, or even the casual landscape. He might have more success in the casual tiers, but then when a Shaggy fights him, who is arguably as casual as Jason, Shaggy is gonna be killing that Jason more often than not with his side air and his side special, two things that casuals just praise as the holy grail of this is what a move needs to be. Side special is crazy. Jason doesn't have any of that. His jab side special is the only thing that I would actually say kills reasonable for a big guy like him if he actually lands a jab. But then that goes into a whole other topic of this game just being land your jab and you win, which gets even worse when you are on burnout and you have no dodge meter. You can make any combo possible. You know why? Because they have no options. That's right, you too can get this emoji for $2 if you join the channel memberships, as well as getting early access to videos, skipping the lines in my live streams, and having your illustrious name posted here on the board. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and let me know if there are any more forgotten MultiVersus characters that you feel need to get more attention. Subscribe if you enjoyed.